everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. It's great to be back. It's great to have you back listening to us and watching us on YouTube. I'm joined by my esteemed co-host, Tim.
Hello,
Good to have you back, Tim. It's good to be back recording with you again. So we'll jump right into today, which is something that's probably relevant to a lot of us, certainly relevant to us at the moment, probably for the next month or so.
Yeah.
But it's essentially what to do in the quieter seasons. Now, if you're a wedding photographer or a wedding videographer, you are going to have quieter seasons. And yeah, we just want to talk about what to do in those times, you know, be it ways to increase your income, be it ways to, you know, keep yourself relevant. So yeah, there's various things that we'll talk about. I'll kick it off.
Take us away.
And it's one thing that I do, which is stock photos or stock footage. Now, I've done it for quite a few years now. A lot of what I do is actually landscape orientated and drones. So, you know, we don't really use wedding photos as stock photos. I don't think any of our couples would agree to that in any case. But yeah, if you are into anything other than wedding photography or wedding videography, if it's landscapes, if it's drones, you know, it's really worthwhile getting into stock photos because it's not going to make you a fortune, but it's a steady income, you know, over time. The more that you put into it, the more you'll get out, as with most things. And mine's now to the point where it's, you know, it is a steady income roughly pretty much every month.
Yeah.
If I wanted to, you know, to withdraw the funds. But yeah, it's a really good thing to do in the off season. Be the off season, you know, winter, be it a certain time of year, maybe over Christmas, it might be quiet. It's really good to just have something to keep the income going and to, you know, to keep things ticking over. So
I think what's important there is you said it, it's not going to make you a fortune straight away.
Yeah.
It's not, don't think, oh, this is going to take over from all the bookings that I haven't got in the off season.
Exactly, yeah.
Because there are, I mean, January, February, I think I've only shot 3 weddings over the 2 months, and that's the off season. From March, it starts getting busy again. But don't think, okay, I shoot 4 or 5 weddings a month, I'm earning X amount. Okay, I'm going to shoot stock for a month and put it all on the website, and I'm going to earn that same amount.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen straight away.
Not
It takes
at all.
time. But that being said, is what you said. Do it over time. Do it in the off season. Go and adventure.
Yeah.
Find some landscapes. Take some photos. Find out more about stock photography and where you can try and increase your profits and increase your reach and maybe sell more. And that's all part of it is learn during that off season. Is go and learn about stock photos and try and earn a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, mine's been going for years, and as I said, like, I don't really withdraw that often from the account, but it's there if I need it, or if I want to just take something out, I'll take something out. And other than that, I don't really worry about it, other than when I want to submit more, I just log on, submit more, and that's it. And whatever I submit makes me money as well. So
if it's just hit me now while we've spoken,
yeah,
I do know stock photographers that do it as a full-time job. So if that's something you guys would be interested in hearing more about, we can see if we can try and get them on the podcast. And we're a wedding photography based thing, but we do know people in the industry, and if you want more information, we can definitely host a podcast about it in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. If anyone's interested in that, we'll definitely arrange for that to happen. And that goes for any topic, really. Like we've discussed it before. Just before we head on to the next thing, there is, if you have anything that you want us to talk about, that you have an interest in, that we maybe haven't covered yet, or we haven't even mentioned, give us a shout. You know, comment on the YouTube channel. You know, join the group and comment there. Let us know in some way or another that you'd like for certain things to feature, and we would definitely look at it. And there's no guarantees that we'll do it or do it straight away, but you know, if it's something that we think more people will benefit from, we would absolutely be interested. So
100%.
Yeah. So number 2.
Number two on the list
up to you.
Is we've got down workshops and just other ways to improve your skills, really.
Yeah.
So workshops are a pretty obvious way of going out there, finding one, learn off-camera flash, learn how to use your lens better, learn how to do anything, really. There are a lot of workshops around, even if they're online. And that's why I say improving your skills. You can do that online as well. You don't need to necessarily be out there doing it. And I was just saying, workshops is one of the easier ways, because then you're interacting with people. They're on the spot. If you have an issue, you can ask them. We've done a fair share of workshops. Yeah. We've attended a fair few, and we always learn something new. Even if we knew a lot of the information, there's always something that we try and take away from them, and that's helped us throughout the years. And just another way is YouTube, Instagram. Yeah. Find videos on certain things. If you're like, oh, I don't know how to edit this or Photoshop this. And even we have a little group with myself, Tyron, and Josip, and we were sharing Photoshop skills the other day. We're just like, this is how you clone this out. And I mean, we do know cloning quite well, but we were just like, I mean, Josip replaced the whole door, and I was like, that's so impressive. Like, how did you make the light look exactly the same? And we learning from each other and just improving your skills by talking to each other and things like that. That's what we're doing on the off season ourselves. We are physically doing these things. We are improving our own skills, whether it's photo or whether it's marketing or whatever, or anything like that. We're always learning and improving during these times. We're finding a way to get better.
I think one of the important things to point out though is that these things don't need to make you money, but they also don't need to cost you money. They can be completely free to do, and they can be something that isn't going to make you money straight away. Like, some of these things might make you money in the future, but they might not. It might just be things that you just learn. That's, if it is a quieter season, you might not have as much income. You might be a little bit worried about finances, or however you approach that. So we're not saying go out and pay for expensive workshops. We're not saying go out and spend a whole lot of money. You don't need to spend anything, but at the same time, these things are not necessarily going to make you money, but they're going to improve you as a photographer or as a videographer or as a business person in general as well. Just an important note to make.
The approach we like to take, I like to take, is when I do a workshop, if I'm spending the money, which again, as Tyron said, you don't have to, but if you are, I like to look at it as, how can I make that back and more? So if I'm going to go learn about, I'm going to use the example again. If I'm going to learn about off-camera flash, how can I incorporate that on the wedding day and then say, oh, look, I can charge more because I know more now and my worth is more, and therefore I can increase my prices. And that's because I've done a workshop that's taught me something different. And that's just the way I like to look at things, is if I'm going to spend the money, how can I make the money back plus? And that's just something important that I like to think of.
Everything's got to pay for itself and also have some sort of return after paying for itself. Return on investment is important in pretty much every business, but especially in ours, where we don't necessarily have tangible ways of keeping track of things that we spend money on, like workshops and stuff. It's always good to know that the things that you do or the things that you learn from certain things is going to pay for itself and make you money in future. So ultimately, you're just going to improve your offering to your couples and to your clients. So that's the important thing. The next one is marketing. Now, we've obviously touched on marketing previously in a previous episode, so we're not going to go too deep into that. But in the off season, our off season is pretty much October to Feb, thereabouts. So we've got a good 4 months, give or take, of relative downtime other than editing, delivering, designing albums, delivering albums, that kind of stuff. But it's still a long time, and it's an important time to look at your marketing, make sure that your marketing is doing what it needs to do. Look at marketing in new areas. Look at, if you haven't looked at Facebook ads, look at Facebook ads. If you haven't looked at Google ads, look at Google ads. Network with other vendors, check out groups that you might be a part of. Wedding groups are always a good source of leads. So just spend that time marketing. And again, it doesn't need to cost you money. Especially during the quiet season, you might not want to spend money on ads, but also be aware of the importance of certain holidays or certain periods during the downtime. Like, obviously, as I said, October to Feb is our downtime, but there's 2 really important, or 3 technically important times during that downtime, being Christmas, New Year's, and Valentine's Day,
I was about to say
that marketing is essential, where you need to market even more than you would throughout the rest of the year, because that's when most people are getting engaged in that period. You know, from Christmas to Valentine's Day, that's when you're going to get most couples becoming engaged. And that's obviously if you're a wedding photographer, videographer. If you're into some other facet of the industry, it might be different, but definitely if you do fall into that category, that's going to be a huge time for you to do so. And it's handy if it is your downtime, because then you get to focus on marketing.
Yeah.
Like, I'd hate to, we both used to live in the Southern Hemisphere, where, that kind of period is the height of summer, which is the height of the wedding season. So you'd be full on with weddings, and you almost wouldn't have time to do proper marketing and proper research as far as marketing is concerned. So, and
it was so easy to let inquiries slip by, because you're busy between 3 weddings, and then one comes in, you're like, okay, I just need to sleep right now, I'll get to it. And it's like as simple as that. If during the off season you'd just done your marketing before, or you planned your marketing and you're like, okay, let's have an ad running here, or during this time, let's actually, maybe even, this sounds ridiculous, hire someone to like watch the inquiries for you. And it's sort of marketing ahead, almost.
That's it. So marketing definitely is important. So focus on that during the downtime. And again, it doesn't need to cost you money, but if you are going to throw money at marketing at any point throughout the year, that's probably going to be a good time to do it. From Christmas onwards to middle of Feb, thereabouts. I
mean, we'll put our hands up in a minute. That's exactly what we did, and we got a good number of bookings from it. Just between Christmas and Valentine's Day. I mean, the amount of inquiries we got were ridiculous, and the amount of bookings we got were pretty good.
Yeah, I think between the two businesses from that period, like, we probably got, I don't know, 11 or 12 bookings. Which is huge. Like, we obviously spend money to get that, but it's paid for itself numerous times over. So definitely look into that. So
I think that's also, sorry, before we get onto the next one, which I'm itching, is the amount of money you put in doesn't have to be lots.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we talked about it. At a point I was like, let's just test this. Like, we started a new business, as you may have heard on a previous podcast. And I said, okay, let's put 50 euros in, see what happens, into Instagram, just Instagram stories. And we got a really good number of inquiries. And I was like, well, okay, we booked a wedding off that. So we said, okay, they paid a deposit, X amount. Let's take half of that deposit and run it again. And then that got another booking, and so on. And it literally started with 50 euros. That was all it took. It doesn't have to be masses of amounts of money. You don't have to throw, Google messages us all the time being like, oh, you've got free 400 euro credits if you spend 400 euros. And you're like, I don't want to spend 400 euros straight up. I'm like, my business is still new. So something as simple as a small amount can get you a booking. It doesn't have to be masses. That's a myth, complete myth.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's actually something I heard from a good friend of mine recently, is that he mentioned, whatever you're putting out to your marketing, if you get bookings from that, put a lot of that back into marketing so that you can get more bookings. And it's just it compounds over time. The more bookings you get, the more marketing you can do, the more bookings you get. And obviously we're not telling you to go crazy and spend thousands of euro or dollars or whatever you use, a week or a month or whatever, but within reason, put a lot of money back into marketing. And that's part of business. That's every business. Every business puts money into marketing, to expand and to grow and be the business it wants to be. So yeah, next one is yours. It is planning.
It's a follow-on, planning. We talked about marketing, and we almost talked about planning your marketing. But planning's a big one. And as I almost basically mentioned earlier, is in your off season you can plan what's going to happen for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, I've basically mapped out my whole year now. And Tyron and I had a chat yesterday. He was like, "Are you cutting off bookings now, or what are we doing?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'll see if more come in, how I feel." But it's like I've planned enough for the year already.
Yeah.
And I've done that in February. And that's almost scary to me because I've never enjoyed. I like the chaos. I like to live in the chaos a little bit. So for me to have my whole year planned out already, it makes me feel at ease. I'm almost like, okay, I don't have to be thinking what's going to happen this month. Am I going to get more bookings this month? Am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? It just planning ahead has helped me just relax and focus.
Yeah.
And something as simple as planning our marketing. We've almost started planning for next year for Christmas and when we're going to start marketing for next year. Just a simple sit down 1 hour session. Even we get on the phone every now and then. We like to send each other voice notes and we're like, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
And something as simple as that just during the off season is just a great way to spend your time and help your business progress.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree. And you're right. We do plan ahead, and we plan for various seasons. We plan for the busy season. We plan for the off season, and we have a clear picture of what the year is going to look like. Another thing that I find, like especially if you run a team, so if you run a team of associates or second shooters and stuff, I find that's vital because, like, I gave you your dates.
Yeah.
Like in late November or whatever it was. It was a while ago. That I've booked up for this year, and it's important to keep everyone abreast of what they're doing, what they need to plan for and stuff like that. So if you are running a team of associates or second shooters, or editors, or whatever, whoever forms part of your team, it's always good to plan ahead for their sake as well as your own, and to have a clear path and a clear map of what the year is going to look like. And the off season is a great opportunity to do that. So, obviously I said earlier, it's beneficial to us that our off season is kind of over Christmas time. And that's obviously heading to the end of the year and starting the year again. So that's a good time to plan for stuff. It coincides with, a new year starting, but, it's really handy, to plan and to have something in place that you can refer to throughout the year, and know that everything's just taken care of.
Exactly.
Like less stress at the end of the day. Anything that just reduces your stress in terms of business is a good thing.
And if anything happens to go wrong, then it's one thing. It's not 10 things that you haven't planned for.
Yeah.
If a second shooter is not available for some reason, then you only have to look for one second shooter there. Yeah. Where I know a lot of people who they'd be like, okay, I've got 4 weddings this month. Let me book a second shooter for all of these. I mean, we've got our second shooters booked already till the end of the year. And if one of them happens to drop out, then we only have to fill that one in.
Yeah, exactly.
And it might be last minute, but it's only one last minute. It's not 4 last minute or 10 last minute. It just, because we've planned now, we don't have to stress later. Yeah,
absolutely.
All right.
So that's planning. And then number 5, I will land the plane with number 5. We'll wrap it up with number 5. And that is, essentially it relates to mostly photography. And what I've got here is to do other forms of photography during your downtime, or during the quieter seasons. So obviously we spoke about stock photos as one of the things that you can do, but you can also look into doing family sessions. You can look into doing, newborn sessions. You can look into doing, kids sessions, with or without their parents, because obviously if their parents are there, it's family sessions and whatever it is, anything that when you pick up your camera, you can make money with during the quieter season, go for it. I know obviously here, communions are a big thing in the off season. There is kind of a season for it, but you can always get inquiries throughout the year for communions, even though there is kind of a set time for them to happen. But it's good to just get deposits and booking fees coming in, inquiries coming in. You're getting some money in over time or over that period, and then also look into schools and creches. They always need a photographer. There'll be plays, there'll be Christmas plays, that they might need a videographer for. Like I know our little boy's crash had a Christmas play, and I said to my wife, I was like, I really want to shoot the Christmas play, but they'd already arranged for someone to do it, and I was like, that not so much for the money, but it would have been a good opportunity to just do something, for them. But yeah, those opportunities are out there, and during the off season, they're a good way to bring in income, and to just get you through, especially if you are pretty new to the business, where you might not have, you might not have experience, you might not have the finances to comfortably see you through the quieter season. It's always good to fill it in with things like that. So,
and who knows, it could turn into a different business.
It could,
during the year.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
It's just keep shooting, keep learning, and you might find something new that you actually enjoy more.
Yeah, potentially, yeah.
We enjoy weddings, so that's where we'll be for the next foreseeable future. But we actually do a couple family shoots on the side, just in between season. Now, you said you have one in a couple of weeks, and it's another way to just do more photos, get a little bit more money, and stay a little afloat. It helps. Yeah. Helps with anywhere in the business. We can add it to the marketing and then book another wedding off of that. Yeah.
And it's good to actually pick the camera up during that period of October to February. So
that's very true. I didn't pick my camera up for a month, and I was like, "Where's the record button?" Oh wait, I use the cable and I record on the gimbal. I don't need to know where it is on the camera.
So that's it. Those are the 5 things that we would suggest doing in quieter times. Maybe none of it applies to you. Maybe all of them apply to you. Maybe they all seem interesting. We try and cater for everyone on the podcast, and if there's anything that you think of that we maybe didn't mention today, or something that you do that you think others might benefit from, let us know. Drop a comment. Whatever it is, and we would be happy to share that for you, or share it yourself on the group. Again, we have that group, so feel free to join. We'd love to have you there, and that's it until the next one.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thanks, Tim. Good to have you back, and we'll see you on the next episode.
See you
Cheers.